to the tune of Granny Will Your Dog Bite, which goes, Granny will your dog bite, dog bite, dog bite, Granny will your dog bite me.
Alright.
This is Vampire Dog, the podcast.
Okay.
All Vampire Dog, all the time.
They are re-releasing this movie for the 5th anniversary and asked us to record the DVD special for it.
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
I would
they're
be
not
so
releasing it on
happy,
Blu-ray
though, if they did.
The Laserdisc commentary track. Only available in Canada.
How many people
Wait.
have watched this on Netflix?
Hang on.
We got contacted by Vampire Dog.
Vampire Dog himself got in touch.
Oh my
about
God.
Making the commentary for the podcast because they're
First
making
of
a
all,
making of documentary.
His name is Fang.
His name is Fang, the
And all you
Vampire
need
Dog.
to know about him is he likes red jelly, which turns out is the same thing as Jell-O.
This is episode 9, I think.
Yeah, this
by
is
the way,
episode 9.
of the unwanted epilogue.
Yeah.
So that's
holy
the thing.
shit.
We made it 9.
Yeah.
I picked this abomination of a film, and I want to apologize up front.
It's
for
because
that.
I taunted him.
And it's because Ford taunted me. That's everyone should know up front. But if you want to watch this movie, you have the option of doing it on Netflix because it's available on there. We might die in a storm.
Looks like a storm's coming. Like your dad says, though, I'm an instigator. So I had to instigate this.
Ford started some shit. There didn't need to be no shit, but he started it anyway. And we all got
I
punished.
made fun of Patrick's movie selection, so he decided.
I dropped a bomb. So the only interesting thing about this movie really is that Norm Macdonald voices the dog in the movie who
It's
talks.
almost
The
interesting.
vampire dog.
It's almost interesting how uninteresting it is, also.
Yes, you're right. It's extremely mundane. But there's like lots of theories as to why Norm Macdonald might have done this movie. I have a few myself. I wanted to ask up front what you guys thought. Like, why do you think he might have done this? Just what, like, off the top of your head.
I think... Jill, do you want to go first?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, I think that he actually is a vampire dog.
You mean he didn't voice the dog? It was him?
Right, this isn't a character for him. This is just Norm Macdonald in his natural state. And he had to do this movie to get enough money to find a shaman to return him to human.
Oh my God.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think that's a theory either.
No.
I read
That's
that
just
on
what
the internet.
happened.
That's just a fact.
Yeah.
True fact stated.
I don't know why. I mean, I think he just works like the rest of us. Like, you don't turn down easy money. You just show up and do the job and take the paycheck. Like, I don't even think it's awesome. I think he's just like us. Like, if I had the opportunity, I'd go do something shitty too. I'm broke. Why not?
Aside from crippling gambling debt, which is apparently one of Norm's vices, which, hey, we can't fault him for.
And
because everyone has vices.
no artistic integrity. He lacks that. Not like that. Not that I have any of that.
I don't think he lacks artistic integrity so much as the rent on the storage unit that he lives in was due.
Oh
so
my
he
God.
needed a place.
Right.
He needed to crash.
Right.
So he had to do this movie.
Well, no job too small, you know?
No job too small.
Right.
His bus pass was about to expire and he needed a new one. Yeah.
And it was like,
Is it-
what, a day of work for him, if that?
It had to be like an hour and a half. He pulled a Stephen Toast and walked in the recording studio, and there wasn't even a script. They were like, okay, Norm, now the kid he's in your room, and you just need to just say some snarky bullshit to him.
I don't even think they would have bothered setting it up like that. I think they just say your line is this.
Yeah.
And then they have them say it 3 different ways, and they go close enough.
Yeah.
Next line.
Yeah.
But what
Didn't even give him a
definitely-
script.
He had a unique contract where they paid him with like a handle of what were you saying? That's
Hot damn.
Yeah, a handle like a bottle of
Or
hot
Fireball.
Bottle of hot damn, yeah, a bottle of cinnamon whiskey.
That's
and
awful.
he had a secret, like, and no money, but he had a secret clause built into the contract where he got to take all the money that everyone in the sound booth brought in their wallets that day.
Oh my God.
So he walked out of there with like $87 and like a quarter of the bottle of hot damn left.
That's actually in every one of Norm's contracts.
Yeah.
When he does voiceover work.
Voice work, yeah.
It just it's baked into the contract.
Right.
So up front, since
But,
we're
Well, like, real
ahead.
quick, it's a Canadian movie. He's a Canadian actor.
Yes.
I assume that everyone in this movie is a Canadian actor.
I assume so too. I assume everything about it is Canadian.
I know that Canada does weird stuff where, like, on their public radio stations, there's, like, a large percentage of the stuff has to be Canadian. Like, I think all their public access media has to be mostly Canadian-produced stuff.
And it was filmed on location to take advantage of a tax credit.
Right, and I'm positive that all of the actors were Canadian to take advantage of a tax credit also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, before we get into how shitty this movie is, we should talk about how Norm Macdonald is actually pretty great.
We love him.
I'm a
We
fan.
love Norm Macdonald. So we're going to say some mean things about him, probably, and we already have. But
They started it.
it's out of
I
love,
mean, he has it coming.
It
he does have
wasn't
a
me,
coming.
Norm. It wasn't me.
He can say mean things about us if he wants.
if he wants to.
If he wants to listen to the podcast, Norm.
His
Shout out to Norm.
his houseboat needed a slip
Yeah.
for the month that he needed to film this movie. So anyway, there's a movie that I would recommend up front you should go watch instead of this movie if you're like considering it out of morbid curiosity. Just don't watch this movie. It was really bad.
There's a
Or
movie that
do.
you should watch instead.
Yes.
It's a journey.
If you like Norm Macdonald, it's called Dirty Deeds.
Oh yeah.
I like Dirty Deeds.
Oh, that's like an actual movie.
Watch
yeah.
Dirty
Just
Deeds.
watch that movie.
It's a great
It's a
old
good
school
movie.
comedy.
Yeah.
Just watch that movie instead of this one. Okay, now, Vampire Dog, everyone.
Yeah, we can talk as much shit as we want about Norm now because you should go watch Dirty Deeds.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It has Artie Lang before he did too much drugs.
Right.
He was doing the right amount of drugs then. He was a funny guy.
Funny fat guy.
Funny fat guy.
You made me watch that movie.
It's a great movie.
You didn't like that movie?
Chris
Okay,
Farley.
I liked it all right.
Chris
I'm sorry.
Farley
I
gets
liked
his
it all
nose
right.
bit off by a Saigon whore.
I got it.
How could you not like that movie?
Yeah, it's such
I
a great.
don't dislike the movie, fellas.
Norm just brought in all his friends and gave him parts and said,
did
like,
the
hey
Adam
guys,
Sandler.
we can make some money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except he also happened to make a very decent comedy. Anyway,
But you gotta like his shtick. It's lots of like Norm monologues that
Yeah.
go off too long, and that's the joke.
well, and then there's scenes like where my favorite bit is where he drives Artie by the movie theater line and he moons the people and then he stops the car. While he's doing it.
Oh man.
So this movie doesn't have anything remotely funny in it. In fact, the bloopers at the end of the movie after the credits roll are funnier than anything that happens in the
It's-
actual movie proper.
It's just a bad children's movie.
Yes.
Like, it probably went on whatever the Canadian version of Disney TV is. What the fuck was that shit called?
I don't know, but they make a couple shows because we've watched them.
Canadian Disney.
No, it's not called Canadian Disney.
It was kind of
Okay.
it was like Degrassi. Like, you know how in Britain all
Okay,
British shows are
first
filmed?
of
Yeah, but it was
all,
much worse than
Degrassi
Degrassi.
No,
is
but I'm
good
saying-
and sacred.
Like the look of it.
Yeah,
You know
the
how
look
all,
of
like
it,
British
yeah.
shows have a certain frame rate and like they put a certain filter
Okay,
in front of the
okay,
fucking thing apparently.
yes.
Like it looked like Degrassi. It's like the same lighting.
But Degrassi stepped up its production value beyond what this was.
Isn't that where Drake is from?
Aubrey Graham? Yes, that is where Drake is from.
Drake, the hardcore
Jimmy!
He wants you to know that he's a fucking tough dude rapper,
Jimmy
but he's
got
also
shot.
got a soft side.
I got shot. He did. He got shot though.
This
he was in a
movie-
wheelchair, but he walked again.
Was made for the Redbox.
Yeah, it was.
It was created. It may have been created by Redbox. Like they may have funded the creation of this movie.
Well, and it was made with a cute doggy on the cover so that your little kid would go, I want this movie. And you're
Yes.
just like, whatever. Like, Christ, I don't care. And then you like take a draw off your flask.
We'll get into this later, but there are a lot of 5-star reviews on Amazon for this movie, presumably
Louise.
because there's a lot of people who
You
got it for
know
their kids.
what really, really blew my mind was when this thing was actually made? Because you said 2012 and I was seriously thinking like 2002. I was a decade off.
No, they said
Of
epic
when this
fail and
was
stuff
made.
like that.
Yeah,
Like,
and it was
I
in
know,
HD.
but it
also.
had like
Ooh,
Mean
HD.
Girls, like hints of Mean Girls, which was like 04.
it was just Mean Girls for middle schoolers.
Yes, they were very mild, mean girls. They were mean
were
to the
a
new
lot
kid.
of parts
And
of this.
honestly,
I was like,
I would have bullied
way.
that kid. I would have bullied Ace, probably.
He looks like Leafy.
Yeah.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
He's got
Okay.
no chin.
What is this movie about? about,
greasy
even
hair.
though it's not really
It doesn't
about
have
anything.
a plot, but at the beginning, it tries to have a plot. So, Norm Macdonald, the vampire dog, who doesn't actually talk until 5 minutes into the movie.
Out of a 90-minute movie.
Which is all you're there for. When you see Norm Macdonald's name on the movie, you're like, okay, this dog's gonna say some shit. It's probably gonna be inappropriate. It never was, by the way. I don't think he said one... Maybe he said, like, one sex joke.
No, the closest thing was, he makes the kid huff his poop.
The poop.
But, okay.
I can't even.
To the movie's credit, that was, like, one of, like, 3 poop things. And in a dog movie,
Butts and nuts.
That's pretty good.
What were the other poop things?
He just, like, farted a couple times.
He farted.
He farted. There was the poop sniff, and then there was lots of putting ass in Jello, on eggs, cracked eggs.
You're right. I didn't think about that.
Butts and nuts.
Asses.
Nut shot.
Asses to asses, dust to dust. Wow. So, Norm Macdonald needed to buy a pump to fill the tires on his bike. So he
I
took
can't right now.
this movie, the voice work for this movie.
Oh, God.
And at the beginning of this, in Transylvania, which the movie does not indicate, by the way, we had to read the description to find this out. The Transylvania setting does not appear anywhere in the film. They don't ever talk about it. But Ace, has a grandfather or great-grandfather who gives a shit, who lives in Transylvania and has a vampire dog.
Frankly, it doesn't matter.
The family has been guarding this vampire dog Fang
Throughout time immemorial.
Yes. Okay. So this is where we start. And I think this is the first time we see him go ham on the jelly. The Jello jelly.
Oh, yeah, he loves jelly.
You don't
Red
think
jelly.
you're ready for how much this dog likes jelly.
He just tells you that he loves red jelly because, I don't know.
There's a reason.
He can't drink blood.
Okay,
no,
there is
no
a reason. No, there is.
There is a reason.
You stop paying attention during this part of the movie.
I hated this movie. What's
He
the reason?
needs collagen.
Vampires want the
right.
hemoglobin. Vampire dog wants the collagen, so he eats up the gelatin.
But
because
there's no hemoglobin
movie.
in collagen.
No.
That's
he
what
wants
vampires
collagen.
want.
He only wants collagen.
But he's a vampire dog, so
Yeah.
he desires something
Who
different.
came up with the fucking lore for vampire
Well,
dogs?
who even cares? He just wants red jelly because he's a vampire
red
dog.
jelly.
Why
Yeah.
do they even bother?
He's like Garfield.
So, the only plot, there is no plot of this movie. The plot is that time is a continuous bitch and the dog has to keep eating to stay alive
He's
like
gotta
everything
eat the
does.
jelly.
Hey,
Okay,
look,
wait though.
He has the hunger, just like a real vampire,
So,
but it's for
before
jelly
they
instead.
said things like epic fail, the reason why I thought it was from 2002 is because we have these bad guys who are there. I wrote that she was Cruella de Isma. So, because I'm like, well, The Emperor's New Groove came out in 2000. We have
She
this
really was
Dr.
like Yzma.
Warhol who's like Cruella de Isma, and she's got this like idiot follower named Frank. I'm like, surely this came a couple years after The Emperor's New Groove.
Couple, yeah.
She also,
But
I
it
thought
did
they were
not.
they thought they were gonna reference Cruella de Vil at one point, and instead they referenced the fucking Wizard of Oz. You keep that movie out of your mouth, bad movie.
So we
vampire
have
dog
these
movie.
two people who
Bad
Lady Dr.
You're a bad
Warhol,
boy.
Cruella de Isma wants vampire dog's DNA. So we have, this is the only sort of plot they give us. They want
just comes
vampire
out-
dog's
the
DNA.
line is, I need the DNA of a vampire dog to perfect my anti-aging formula.
What's it called? Wrinkles be no.
Who cares?
Wrinkles be gone.
No, it's called.
Get out of here, Wrinkles.
I think that's it. It's something like that. It really is that dumb.
So this is like the only plot
Fuck
we get
right
though,
off, you
and
goddamn
because
whore
of
Wrinkles.
the two of them, I'm like, this has got to be right between The Emperor's New Groove and Mean Girls, and no, it's from a decade
And
later.
directly in Canada, also. Canadian Mean Girls and...
Canadian Mean Girls.
It's basically set in Wheels, Ontario.
Oh my god. Okay, so they want the dog, but because the dog's Transylvanian
Tunes.
keeper has died, the dog is sent to this lovely little boy named Ace Cunningham.
Ace Ratchet Cunningham. Ratchet's his middle name.
And
Ace
then the
McBeefquake.
terrible dialogue starts, and it
never
does
ends.
not end at all.
Ace McCrotch Cuge.
Ace has bangs.
Ace
so
Punch Meat.
Ace may or may
Ace
not be
and
wearing
dog are
fake
banging
teeth
fangs.
and a wig.
Blast cheese.
Oh my god. He plays the drum. drums. That's his only character trait in the movie. Also, he
can't
is
play
shy.
in front of people.
Right.
He has severe
perform.
performance anxiety.
And at one part of the movie, early on, he goes to school, band, and is put on the spot, and he pulls his dick out, falls down, trips over it, and immediately embarrasses himself in front of the whole
stands
school.
up and claps, and then he's the president of the world, and the movie ends.
Yes.
I wish. That would have been a good movie. Objectively terrible.
Wait,
but
who?
he gets a vampire
Everyone?
dog. Who
Everyone in this
finally,
movie?
25 fucking minutes in, you just keep waiting for Norm Macdonald to say something, and finally the vampire dog talks to Ace Cunningham, and now they're gonna do adventures and shenanigans together.
So Ace goes on social media with his friends that night, and they're all in a group chat, and they're hanging out, and they're like bullying this one kid in school, and then that kid goes and like disappears, and they just find his head on the flagpole the next day with a sign that says, "You bitches are next."
Okay, this also would have been a better movie
I
than
wish
what
that
we
had
actually
happened.
watched.
God, I wish that he had actually had to eat blood to survive, because that would have made it slightly more interesting. The fact that he just needs jelly, it's such a toothless thing.
So that's the only plot, is that the dog has to keep eating to survive,
Yeah.
which is not plot, it's just
Well,
how life
and the
works.
the people who need the vampire
very
DNA
relatable.
for get
Yeah.
out of here, wrinkles, wrinkle cream.
Right.
Mhm.
So they end up way later in the movie after nothing happens for 85 minutes. They steal all of the jelly in town so that the dog has to come to them, and that's the plot now.
Well, that you're skipping over
But
a lot of
There's
detail.
only
Wait,
10 minutes left in
wait.
the movie.
You're
Nothing
skipping-
happens in the
Okay.
now and then.
The shenanigans, the magical adventures that they go on are such as, like, going to the park together. Which, by the way, okay, so they make a point to say that he cannot go in sunlight. And then they show him fucking walking
through
in the
sunlight.
sun, like 3 times in the movie. And then at the end, his girlfriend with glasses, who, by the way, her only character trait is that she's a nerd.
She loves science.
She carries a book around constantly that
That
says
says
science.
science.
Right across
That
the
was her
front.
introduction as a character. First of all, this movie is gross for a kid's movie because there's multiple shots in this movie of this girl just being like super hot for this kid. Like hotter than a 12-year-old should be for.
It
They're
was a
like-
weird thing all around.
They show the kid like bend over to pick up his pen, and the cut, and she's like, bow, baka, bow.
She's like sweating and
she's, like,
fanning
right,
herself.
and then she like licks her lips, and it's
Oh,
like real
God.
slow and zoomed in, and you're like, she's like 13.
I know that I'm projecting a little bit my own weird shit, but like there were way too many gratuitous shots of her just staring at this fucking kid like he was the hottest
Like,
kid.
really? Because he's got the bangs and he plays the drums and he's...
At one point, she rides her
Mysterious
bike by
question
his
mark?
house, and he's just on the drums. And she looks up at the house slowly and goes,
We forgot one of the most important fake plots, which is the Battle of the
Oh, the
Band.
bands.
We, in the middle of all of this, we are trying to save Lugosi Public School from being
we
closed.
didn't mention how clever they are by naming the town Lugosi
Did
County.
we watch another movie where that was a thing? A Lugosi something. And Lugosi County, by the way, is where Lugosi Public School is located.
Bela Lugosi?
Like Bela Lugosi,
Mhm.
yes. It's a thing that they're doing because it's a vampire movie.
So while all this is going on,
Do you get it?
Battle of the Bands is happening.
He was the
Get it all.
vampire. He was the old vampire.
The production is so poor, though, that this
It's like that
public
Bauhaus
schools
song.
band, we noticed they have like one of each instrument,
Yeah.
right?
This guy.
So at some point, the
I know
teacher
Bela
says,
Lugosi is.
let's
Yeah, he
break
played
into
the Dracula.
groups, small
Like that Bauhaus
bands.
song.
Oh my god,
What?
you guys are
Sorry,
like,
Jill. It's
y'all
that-
are real
it's
up
that
in Bela
fucking Bauhaus
Lugosi right
song.
now?
It's the Bauhaus song Bela Lugosi said, you know.
Oh my god.
Bam,
Oh.
bam.
Oh,
I gotcha.
my gosh. This movie was bad. Y'all You're pushing it. You're pushing it, fellas.
In the bedroom.
Wait!
Don't know what to
I feel like we're
Well,
going off the rails here, and
We're
we're
completely
not
off the
really
rails.
going to
Back
make
to the
it
band.
through
So
this
you're
terrible
just
movie.
saying that they have one of each instrument, and
Yes.
that's ridiculous.
It's so stupid because, okay, the teacher is Ace's mother. They have moved to this this new school district. His father has passed away, yada yada, boring story. So they're trying to find storylines, okay? Like just shit that you would have in a kid's movie, but like not all kids' movies are this fucking terrible.
Well, it's just like, of course he's there as the new kid with his mom and his dad's not there. Like, of course he like doesn't fit in at all.
And at one point later, I think the dog is like, "Hey man, I'm sorry your dad died of an illness." It's like very...
I can't.
There's no attempt at subtlety.
But you got any more of that red jelly?
Yeah.
Red jelly in the house.
Have I mentioned how much I like red jelly?
Okay.
Red jelly.
So, something about the people who are after him. Do you know the name of these two actors?
I looked them up.
See, this would be a good opportunity in this movie to have like an unknown comedy duo.
Yes. Somebody you've never heard of, because these two people thought they were like
saving the movie.
The fucking Deborah Messing and Eric McCormick of like
whoa,
this
that is a
shitty
reference.
movie.
Where are we going there? That is a reference.
That's Will and Grace.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah.
That is Will and Grace. They act like they have this chemistry and this dynamic of like magicalness. Like at one point they're sneaking up on, I guess, the kid's house,
which they do multiple times.
He says we need to approach subtly, and she's like, I will subtly approach your face with a frying pan.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I guess. There it is. There's a thing you just did.
It's hard to tell if it's like ad-lib or if it's just a terrible
No,
story.
I think someone wrote that like it was meant to be hilarious, but it was mostly just confusing because they hadn't established
that almost sounds like an ad-lib.
Any kind of like, well, in the bloopers you saw them do that and
scene over and over.
And crack because it's hilarious and they're totally besties. Like Deborah Messing and Eric McCormick.
This
really
guy,
good people.
They're supposed to be the Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yes.
The bumbling bad guys.
Yes.
Who are kind of the plucky comic
They're shitty American Boris and Natasha.
Yes. Or they're fucking Team Rocket.
Yeah, they're Team Rocket, Boris and Natasha.
Yeah. They're that archetype.
But they're done very poorly.
Yeah. They're just not... It's a kid's movie, so the jokes are like, the dog strips all of his clothes off and he's left in his underwear, and he comes running back to the car, and she's like, what happened? And he's like...
Wait, Ford, the dog was wearing clothes?
What?
No.
I'm sorry.
Boris was wearing the clothes.
Right.
By the way, Boris's name is Frank.
You just killed my momentum.
And Natasha's name is Dr. Warhol.
But they use the same running joke several times where he comes running back into the van, hops in the passenger seat, and he's all like fucked up, and she goes, what happened? And he goes, don't ask. I'm like, okay.
Comedy.
I have flour on me. I'm in my underwear. Don't you dare ask me, bitch. Don't you dare.
So the dog can also hypnotize people, but he like really rarely uses it.
Yeah, we should go over the dog's superpowers right now. We should go over all of them.
Yeah, he's got super speed. He can live forever.
Yes.
Live forever as long as he has an endless supply of Jello.
Red jelly.
Every like 15 seconds. He needs it approximately every 20 seconds.
Look, man, he just needs to like spark up. He just needs a fix.
Yeah.
I made some fun.
Watch it glimmer, see it shimmer, cool and fruity. Jello brand gelatin of all desserts, you'll love the one that tastes so light and makes such fun. Make Jello gelatin and make some fun.
No, but really, he needs a lot of
Don't
that red
judge
jelly.
him. It could be much worse. He could be eating people's faces.
And he can fucking hypnotize people and make them think they're animals.
They get the swirly eyes, the computerized swirly eyes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So he's basically the best dog ever because you don't have to buy him dog food. You just have to buy jelly for him. So you don't ever have to go to the pet store again.
Maybe that's why he's so like... Maybe that's why he's allergic to the sun. He gets no like vitamin D. Like he only eats fucking collagen.
He never goes outside.
Garbage.
His diet's garbage. He never gets any sunlight.
He's got weak moves. Oh man, this was bad.
There's nothing. It was like a Lifetime kids movie.
First of all, this movie's dialogue is in the CIA torture handbook.
It made me hurt.
Oh, and I wrote a note here. The dog was not that great of an actor. It was very real.
You mean the CGI mouth that they put on him wasn't a good actor, or he wasn't a good actor?
We counted 2 or 3 very distinct dogs that had like different colored heads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them was very clearly like a puppy,
this,
and the other
you
ones
gotta
were older.
make fucking like Air Bud, right? I can bring you 20 golden retrievers.
Right.
Bam.
They use like a very distinctly splotchy black and white dog. Yeah.
So that was not the same doggy.
Okay, you can't prove that, man.
Can't we?
You can't prove it, man.
There were 2 or 3 times where almost at the same time we all said, that's not
That's
the same
not
dog.
the same dog.
And we weren't
Yeah.
even like looking for it. We
No.
just happened to go like, hey, that dog's different.
I wasn't looking for it at all.
Also, let's be real. If there's going to be an actual vampire dog, is it going to be that little spotted dog or one of those like regal, long, gray-haired bitches?
Yeah, it's gonna be an
that like
Alsatian.
wins best in show.
fucking
That's
Alsatian.
like, I am a fucking vampire dog.
Right.
Fabulous.
A goddamn German Shepherd.
Fierce. Not a fucking whatever that was. Splotchy splotch dog.
Yeah. Or like a lassie at least.
Come on, give us a lassie. You know what? I was more focused on the Home Alone aspect of things, I think. The, like, bad guy duo that sucked.
Yeah.
And,
It definitely
like,
had Home Alone
we're
vibe.
going to get, you can never replicate. You can never be
No.
Marv and Harry.
So one thing that was weird when he was unpacking his box, remember? And I bet there's a cutscene, and the kid was
The dog
taking
was
stuff
unpacking his box that he came in.
and the kid was pulling stuff out of it though also.
Yeah.
And the kid pulls out the stick, and he's like, "What's this?" And he's like, "Oh, that's my old master's fetch stick. No, like nothing to see there. Go ahead and just
Yeah.
like put that back." I thought like, okay, later on he's gonna
We
like
would get something out
he's
of
gonna
that.
throw the stick, and he's gonna like be compelled to go get it or
He did.
something. What?
He did. You missed that?
I missed it.
There was a scene where he took it, he made him go outside. This is where he was in direct sunlight. They took him out to the fucking park and threw the stick, and he was like, no, don't throw it. And then he ran and got it. So they
Okay.
did that scene.
All right, cross that one off my fucking list.
It was dumb, but they did do it.
Okay, cool. No, I'm
You
glad.
know,
It
What
didn't
was-
lead to anything, though.
So I
Honestly-
missed it, and I was looking for it, and by the end of the movie, I was like, well,
It
hell, and I
didn't
wrote
lead
it
to
down.
any story.
Yeah.
It didn't lead to him going, here's what happened after blah, blah, blah.
They set up too many plot lines.
So many plot lines.
Well, that aren't like real plot lines, though. They just set up these little like things that don't resolve.
All
Well,
we're waiting for
even-
is the battle of the bands.
Oh my god, with the Battle of
So
the
they have
Bands.
Battle of the Bands, the fact that he's allergic to sunlight, the fact that he needs red jelly, the fact that the schools they're gonna implode if they don't win Battle of the Bands.
Okay, this
The
school is
kids-
pinning their hopes on the shittiest band
Right.
ever.
Then the kids' trials and tribulations of like going through school and everyone hates them. That's like a plot line.
You're right, dude. There's so much shit in this movie.
And then the entire thing where the two people need to capture the dog, and
Yeah.
that like drives a lot.
That
of
was
what
my
happens.
favorite plot line.
Like,
That's the movie I was watching. Was the Home
I like the
Alone
one where
movie?
the kid's a dork and finds acceptance through his drumming. Oh, also that the kid's has stage fright and has to overcome that.
I liked this movie
I didn't give a
because
shit about that.
it taught me it was okay to be weird and have weird bangs and wear a weird Ed Hardy hat
They
to
were
school.
Bang and Fang, the duo,
Banging and fanging.
and it was just those storylines were not interesting.
I kind of hate what making 9 episodes of this podcast has done to me. You know what I mean? Like, I think that we're getting better at this, but I hate that I can like critically look at this movie and not like and have anything to say about it other than just like I fucking hate myself.
Well, it's
now.
not a
Okay.
real movie is the
It's
problem.
not a real movie.
Right.
It's a
But that's
a
the
money
thing
thing.
is we can even talk about it for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And there's nothing here.
I think what bothers me the most is even in 2012, like, in 2012 I didn't have a kid old enough to have enjoyed this, but I did a lot of babysitting. And in 2012, there were actually kids shows with actual storylines and real life characters, and, like, somebody actually gave a shit when they made it, and it wasn't just this, like, I jerked off into a cup and then I called it Vampire Dog. Like,
Well,
it's
the thing is,
so insulting, like...
this isn't for. It can't be for little kids either because it's based around like 13-year-old, like
Yes.
maybe like 8th graders.
You have to almost be into the opposite sex to get anything out of it.
Right,
'Cause
no,
that's
you
like
absolutely
the main,
do.
Yeah.
Like, it's not for little kids, but all of the vampire dog stuff is little kid stuff.
It is.
And then, so it's for, like, Mormon teenagers. Like,
Yeah.
it's for, like, kids that aren't allowed to watch too many movies, I feel like. You know what I
You
mean?
know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
It's
really,
very PG.
I wasn't expecting a lot, but I still felt disappointed. Like, it's a cute idea, a vampire dog. You could have made something like if you had just, woken up a little bit earlier that day. You could have made something that's like...
They could have made a movie that
That's
had...
the joke of the episode right
okay?
there.
They could have
Something
made a...
parents
Holy
and
shit,
children
that's funny.
could watch together.
Like Osmosis Jones,
If
where
you've
like
gotten up a little-
it's a watchable kids movie.
Because someone actually
Like,
woke
put
up
effort
on
into it.
time.
Right, yeah.
And
woke up.
made it to that meeting.
Yeah.
And put in real effort.
Oh god.
That's
Somebody
why I thought it was so
completely
old.
out of time.
That is why I thought it was so old, honestly, because it seemed like it's early 2000s, everyone's got a camera, let's just nut out a kid's movie, and...
I feel like if not for Norm Macdonald, this movie would almost fall out of our... It's not interesting enough to do.
Yeah.
It would without Norm Macdonald.
I mean, without him, I never would have cared
Yeah.
enough to click on the IMDb profile for it.
There's just nothing to it. It's so weirdly vanilla. It's like one of those, like, they tried to come up with the blandest thing they could possibly, like, engineer with
Did
science.
we talk about why
Like-
we did this movie?
No, we
what
haven't
we're
talked
doing?
about it.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
doing animal movies.
Yeah, for
We're all gonna pick
Halloween.
an animal movie.
Okay, I should
And
have put this at
Patrick
the beginning.
ruined it.
But I
It's
ruined it.
okay. We didn't even introduce ourselves.
It's okay.
I'm Jill.
Oh my god.
It's okay. It's okay. But this was our first terrible
Ford.
animal movie, which I
And
love.
I'm Jill.
So we're doing Halloween, or somebody can come up with a better name.
Halloween.
We're doing pet movies for Halloween.
Hollering.
So there's not really a set of criteria.
It's just animal movies.
Just any kind of animal movie.
Mine's
But
going to be
I
better
picked-
than this piece of
I
shit.
picked
hope.
this fucking piece of shit.
I'm gonna do Poseidon Adventure.
Oh no!
Poseidon Adventure Part 3, The Zoo.
Isn't there a modern remake of the first one?
Yes.
That can be his next
You know what?
pick.
We
It's
do.
just called Poseidon.
I think we do have to do it.
Michael
We're
Caine.
obligated.
Michael Caine. Grown up Michael
Michael
Caine.
Caine.
Dude, I never want to return to that boat.
But you know, it 10 hours.
You know,
because
the film I was in
Andromeda
Poseidon Adventure.
Stayed
up for 14 hours for it, so
Yeah.
it's probably still there.
Yeah, Andrea Doria.
Andrea Doria. I am not great with names. There's a little shithead in this movie, by the way, whose name is like, oh, I'm gonna get it wrong. It's not Archibald. What's his real name? Artichoke? Archduke?
Archnon.
Arjunon?
Archnon.
What's his name?
Archnon the plague bringer.
Arbuckle.
Archnon the bringer of plagues.
I like that better than Arbuckle. But
Okay.
he's like the Draco Malfoy, but he's so very bland.
He's got goofy blonde
I
hair.
only remember him because I could never get the name Arbuckle right.
His name is Arbuckle. His fucking name is Arbuckle.
Archibald.
The kids' names are Ace and Arbuckle, and what's the girl's name?
Skylar.
Skylar. This
Hey,
is
you
the
know
most
what?
Canadian fucking movie ever.
It's so Canadian.
They eat like just ketchup chips all the time,
Here's another question. Why does the vampire dog speak English?
right?
You know what?
He should speak Romanian.
I'm so sorry. I put my cup on the
Or
table,
Hungarian.
and we all talked about not putting our cups on the table.
Yeah,
but
he
I
should speak
wrote a
anything
list
but
of
English.
questions,
Okay,
and this is a good one.
We have some questions. Pose them now. Go ahead,
Okay.
audience.
Why was this movie made?
So,
Because
why
Norm was out
doesn't
of
he
Pizza
sleep?
Hot Pockets and
Why
Shasta.
doesn't he sleep during the day and go out at night?
Okay.
That's a good
Why?
question.
I said why the jelly, but then
He
they
has a
explained that.
coffin. He has a coffin.
How come sometimes he's in the sunlight and no one gives a shit, right? Why did you pick a spotted fucking dog if you were gonna switch the dogs out? Poor planning. Bitchy Friends, Archibald, that's it. And a bloopers reel.
All right.
They put a bloopers reel on this.
Yeah, actually, like, kind of, I enjoyed seeing a blooper. Like, and it was directly at the end of the movie, too. I enjoyed seeing bloopers for this. I will say, that was the one highlight for me. It's
Norm
the bloopers
Macdonald needed to prove to the government that he had wages they could garner.
reel.
That's your answer for why this movie was made. But, okay, so I want to bring back the YouTube comments.
Oh my god.
Post.
My favorite segment.
Hit me with it,
show.
hit me with it.
My
I
favorite
love this
There's
segment.
just one this time.
One
Just
good one?
one?
User KDemon17 says, "What is this?" in all caps.
I almost got beer on our nice mic. What is
KDemon17,
Is that
I agree
it?
with you.
That's
Wherever
it,
you
that's all
are.
there is on YouTube.
What is
this? What in God's name?
K Demon 17. Good fucking question.
Okay,
I
so
don't even know what is this, and I watched it.
I have more. I have some Amazon customer reviews.
Hit me with the schmamazon.
I feel like we needed to go a little further this time for the content.
Wait, was there only one comment on the YouTube?
On the YouTube trailer, there
One
was but one
fucking
comment.
That's great.
Not a lot of
Please go comment
buzz.
on this movie.
Yeah, if you hear
It
this,
deserves more
Wait,
than
so
one.
the whole
smash that like
the
button,
full-
smash that subscribe
the
button.
full length movies on YouTube?
You have to pay for it,
Oh.
$2.
which is what we did because we're not degenerates. I
Yeah.
mean, we watched it on Netflix.
Yeah, we paid for it though.
Netflix.
Either way,
.com.
don't worry.
Hashtag
We pay for our
Netflix.
movies. We got to support this.
Hashtag
we have-
I wouldn't pirate
We
a
have
card.
to support this segment of the industry.
We have to support these shitty movies that wouldn't exist or
I
shouldn't
want Norm
exist.
MacDonald to have a warm bed at night. So yes.
He just needs a hug.
Look, his secret family in Nicaragua needs their
Shut
utility bill
up.
paid, and that is why
Hit
he
me
had to
with
do
the
this movie.
reviews. What
Okay,
do we
so-
got?
Patrick, it's easy to sit there and judge when you don't have a secret family in Nicaragua.
It's really easy to
But
judge.
give it a few years.
You don't
know?
even know.
Yeah.
Oh god.
You'll
I
see.
was wondering
You'll
if
see. You'll see.
maybe he was supposed to do like a regular movie with this production company, but due to pending litigation and also restraining orders, he couldn't go anywhere near the set, so they had to do a movie about a dog so he could just do a voiceover.
If it ever comes out that Norm groped a lady, I think I'm just done with this planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surely not.
I mean, at this point, everyone's groped a lady.
Everyone present has groped a lady.
Far away look in Patrick's eyes as he said that.
Oh god.
Patrick just went to a different place
He left
for a
us.
second.
Briefly,
Yeah. All right.
briefly.
This
All right.
vampire dog movie just, it's fucking...
Okay,
took
hit
it out
me
of me.
with some schmamazon reviews.
Yeah.
So Norm needed to renew his Costco membership so that he could eat pizza and hot dogs
Y'all
from
are
Costco.
so mean.
Okay, anyway, from user AW3549.
Oy,
My kids absolutely love this movie.
they fucking love it.
They watch it over and over. We first saw it on Netflix, spelled Netflix.
CKS! Yes!
And they enjoyed watching it so much, we bought it so they could watch it in the car.
Oh no!
It's a really cute movie. And who doesn't love talking vampire dogs that eat red jello?
Who doesn't love it, Ford?
It's a sweet kids movie.
You know, who does love that though?
Apparently her kids.
Anna and John's mom.
Oh, God.
That first one was 5 stars, by
Wait,
the way.
is Anna and John's mom the name of the account?
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
Hell yeah!
Yes, it is.
What else have they reviewed?
I'll tell you in a second. 3-star review titled Not the Most Lively.
Uh-oh.
My older child and I found the plot lacking, cinematography dull, and nothing in it that would catch a general audience.
Dumb!
I would not watch again, but my 10-year-old liked it well enough.
There was the fart joke, so clearly
Man,
your
I bet
10-year-old
that
liked it.
lady sucks.
She has plastic on her furniture.
Okay, it makes me like this movie a little more knowing that she didn't like it. Whoever she is. Fuck you, bougie ass.
Find me the
fucking piece of
lowest star review
Oh shit.
and hit me with some of that action.
shit. Dude, there are
Wish-
paragraphs. That's 3
Okay,
paragraphs.
I'm only gonna read one of these because they're long. Wish they gave a 0-star option. 1 star by Michael Miano. This is a really, really awful movie with absolutely no redeeming qualities. It has the same basic plot as Home Alone, a beautifully done comedy about a brave child thwarting bad guys. But Vampire Dog is such a spectacularly incompetent film. I can't recommend it for humans of any age. If I had 3-year-olds, I would be embarrassed for them to see this. Poorly acted, awfully written, badly directed. This movie has every element to make it deserving to never be seen by anyone. One of the most embarrassing aspects of the story, which hinges on a dog who thinks he needs cherry jello to stay alive,
Who thinks he does?
is that they can't say the word jello for trademark infringement reasons. That's not true. So every time jello is mentioned, which is a lot, they say jelly instead.
Oh yeah, like we looked this up. They do apparently say Jello in Canada also, but they do say jelly like pretty much everywhere outside of the U.S. I'm sure Jello and jelly, like yes for trademark, but also jelly is common outside of the U.S.
Nonsensical.
Yeah.
The last part, this movie is not for families. Unless you have or want a family of idiots.
Oh!
I am so sorry I wasted time watching this trash.
Dude,
Bitch, you watched
applause.
the whole movie. You didn't figure that out in the first, like,
That was
10
good stuff.
seconds.
minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to kill Patrick immediately. I wanted wanted to do a murder on him.
A fatwa
I wanted
on
to do
me.
the murder.
Fatwa.
A fatwa on Ford for disrupting the balance by telling Patrick his movie picks were too good.
Yeah, I said I enjoyed Patrick's movies too much.
This was equal parts for that and also for you saying Battlestar Galactica was boring.
It is boring.
It's not boring.
It's not good.
You know what? Just for that, I'm going deeper for
yeah,
my next
It's really
pick.
interesting if you want to spend 8 episodes finding a magic arrow or something that
one-
doesn't do anything.
No one listen to
Everyone's
him.
a Cylon, so who gives a
If
shit?
anyone who
We're
ever
gonna
listens
airlock
to this
you.
takes away
If the
is
Cylons
that
were
you
even
should
halfway
watch
competent, the humans
Battlestar
would be long
Galactica.
fucked anyway.
We are gonna
They could-
airlock you so
I'm
hard.
gonna
They
airlock
can
him
pretend to be
immediately.
anyone. How are they not just immediately fucked all of the humans? Like,
They
have
did.
to go
They're
in
all
and
dead
hit
except for one ship.
one button to vent.
They're
all
all
of them.
dead
except
but
for
one ship.
And these people spend their time finding the magic fuck. It was like the Matrix, basically.
You take
It's
it
exactly like the Matrix.
You
You
like
know
the
what?
Matrix, don't you?
Actually, okay, so I watched the.
back. You like the Matrix, you don't like Battlestar.
I watched all 3 of the Matrix movies again recently, and
The
number
other 2
2
are-
and number 3, they hold up better than I remember, though. Like, I remember them not making any sense.
Record scratch noise here.
I like the Matrix 2 and 3 and thinks it makes more sense than Battlestar.
Okay, well, you know what? I find that unacceptable. And
Wow.
that's just where I'm going to leave that.
That's insubordinate and churlish.
We people are a family.
You're Cylons.
This is nonsense. You're the Cylon.
You're Cylons.
Only a Cylon would disparage Battlestar
Yeah,
Galactica.
see, if I was
Only
Cylons, you'd
a
be dead
Cylon.
already. There wouldn't be time to talk
because
about
you're
who's
like
a Cylon and who's not a Cylon.
pretending to be a human
It's
with
kind of like the
us.
Skynet thing. When Skynet got control, they didn't spend forever virus scanning and trying to figure out who
But
had
that's
an
why
upgrade
you're a
for Windows
Cylon.
XP.
Your Cylon programming is like drink some beer, watch bad movies, then handle business.
And then kill a human.
Yeah, we're just not there yet. That's why
we
we're
forgot
still
to
doing
talk
this.
about the Human Rock song. in the
Oh,
movie.
Battle of the Bands ends with the ultimate human rock song because
just sing it?
Archibald is a garbage drummer.
Rock song.
Keep going, keep going.
Human rock song.
Archibald
It's a
sucks.
human
Ace
rock
plays the drums, saves the day, and they play a human rock song and save Lugosi Public Schools from being closed. Yes.
I don't think there's any lyrics in it. We added them while we were watching the
Gonna
movie.
sing a human
Are you
rock
sure this
song.
has been recording?
Goes on way too long. If we haven't been recording, then I fucking quit.
Me too.
Somehow we rang almost an hour out of this movie.
Oh my god, there's only 30 minutes left of the actual playtime, and there's not a lot to edit out. Jesus Christ! Alright, this movie was truly
Okay.
terrible.
We don't really have to talk about the end.
There's no end. They win.
They save the school.
Yeah.
And the nerdy Skylar who Ace loves has the ultimate antihistamine, and the dog can go in the sunlight, and he doesn't get drowsy.
Which, by the way, she synthesizes in the school science lab.
Yeah.
Which
Because
can't be
she
legal.
is a friggin' genius.
Without
which
a
is
business
a movie
license.
I would rather see than this one.
Yes. She's a hero for all ages.
She also cooks up some LSD, and they just get fucking
It's
fried.
actually the prequel to
And gives it to
Breaking
the
Bad.
dog.
Yeah.
This was also Charlie
They're
from
like,
It's
"Whoa."
Always Sunny's origin story. He's the drummer.
He's
Talking
your
dog.
Archibald?
Yeah. No.
Or
no.
Ace.
Ace. He's Ace.
Whoa, talking dog, what were you guys smoking when you came up with this one?
Okay, go watch something fucking better than this. Go watch Dirty Deeds.
We were eating rotisserie chicken, now read the lines.
Dirty Deeds. If you're gonna do some Norm, do Dirty Deeds.
Yeah, watch Dirty Deeds, it's a good movie. Alright, we gotta fucking end this shit. We're
Alright.
at an hour.
I'm still Jill. Bye.
Okay.
She's still Jill.
Final recommendations. Would you recommend that anyone watch this movie?
No.
Bury this movie with E.T. in a landfill.
Wow.
Write Netflix an angry letter about this movie.
Yeah, it's even on there that they paid some
Yep.
Canadian production company
Yep.
to have it.
I'm just glad that Canada tries.
Hey, you know what? Norm is a tax break. If they can help him pay for Netflix for his supervised visits with his son, then...
Oh my god, I have to pee. I'm out.
Alright.
It's done. Thanks for listening.
We ran that
Everybody.
junk into the ground.